Welcome to episode 6 of Video Game Therapy's complete guide of what to expect for E3 2021. And in this episode, we're talking about Capcom. Capcom. This is kind of a difficult one, to be honest. Capcom kind of have stuff going on, but really the mainline things that we were getting out of Capcom this year were Monster Hunter Rise, which came out in March, and then Resident Evil Village, which came out at the beginning of May. Obviously, we're still waiting on this Reverse or R-Reverse game that we were supposed to be getting alongside Village, which I'm sure is going to show up and maybe even get a shadow drop. But the absence of clear projects that Capcom are working on could make this show go one of two different ways. It's either going to be kind of boring with nothing notable to get hyped about, or it could be fucking amazing because we don't know what's going on at Capcom. It could be full of surprises. Obviously, we want the latter, but realistically, I think it's going to be a mix of the two. Like I said before, I'm dead certain that R-Reverse will be there, and probably with an instant release. This is R-Reverse, it's ready to go, it's out tonight. And then the other game I guess we know that's in the works and somewhere close to completion is the new Monster Hunter Stories game. So I think this is almost certainly going to be there as well. And whilst it'll be cool to see both of these games there, they aren't really sitting high on my excitement meter. Like, on the scale of things that I'm excited about, they probably sit somewhere around the I'll probably never play them mark. Unless of course R-Reverse turns out to be this fantastic multiplayer, but going off recent history, Resident Evil multiplayer games have been not great. And Monster Hunter is a series I've been desperately trying to get into over the last couple of years, but the sheer amount of time and dedication it takes to start understanding and dissecting the deep mechanics and lore of this series is a level of commitment I really haven't had time to give it yet. Which is a shame, because I know just from looking at the games and from the things I've heard from hardcore fans of the series that this would be something that I'd lose myself in, but see, that's the problem. It's like waving crack at a crack addict. Yes, I want it, but by doing so, I can pretty much say goodbye to everything else in my life, you know? Something I have seen people on Reddit hoping for is the announcement of Street Fighter 6. I'm just not on board with it. Look, don't get me wrong, it's all but confirmed that Street Fighter 6 is in development. Going back like 2 years now, we've heard rumblings from people in the know that the game is in fact being worked on. But I'm skeptical simply because Capcom just seem nowhere near done with Street Fighter 5 yet. It was only April when they announced their 5th DLC package with 3 new characters coming. Rose came April 19th, but Oro and Akira are still without release dates, which incidentally I do think we will get at E3. At the very least, they'll announce Oro's release date. But I don't know, I just think that Capcom will wrap up whatever they're doing with 5 before they start getting the fandom hyped for 6. It just seems counterintuitive to hype fans for a whole new iteration of the game and still expect them to spend money on the current one. You know what I mean? So what else do we have from Capcom? I don't think we're going to see anything new from Monster Hunter. Like I said, I think we'll see Monster Hunter Stories too, but I don't think we'll see anything new from the franchise. It just seems too soon and too much. Mega Man? Is it time to see something new from Mega Man? Personally, I just don't see it happening. Mega Man is one of those games that's kind of like Street Fighter for Capcom. It's so ingrained in gaming folklore that people will always be happy for a new Mega Man game, but at the same time, people aren't really chomping at the bit to get it. So it's not like there's any rush for Capcom to put out a new Mega Man game. Okay, I've got it. I think I've got it. Devil May Cry. Hear me out, okay? I know that Devil May Cry 5 only came out in 2019. Devil May Cry 5 was fucking awesome, like really an excellent time. It was so fun to play, so accessible, and it just looked so good. 5 was the game that the Devil May Cry series needed to reignite it, and it did just that. The thing is though, there was 11 years between Devil May Cry 4 and Devil May Cry 5. That's just an obscene amount of time. But now that the Devil May Cry flame is reignited, I expect that Capcom will want to capitalise on that. So like I said, I know 5 only came out in 2019, so to announce 6 now seems like a short amount of time, but look, there's no need for an engine change here. They wouldn't even have to change up the assets so much. I mean, look how good 5 looks with the PS5 upgrade. There's no reason we couldn't get a Devil May Cry 6 on the same engine using the same assets, just slightly updated. Take a look at God of War for example. Granted, it's been delayed to 2022, but even then, if this game comes out next year, that's still a 4-year turnaround, and that's including a global pandemic. It's a similar situation. God of War 2018 looked so good and was so well made that we're only expecting the next one to be a slight upgrade, using the same engine, similar character models, probably even some of the same environments for that game, just updated slightly. And God of War in scale is much bigger than Devil May Cry. For Devil May Cry, you're looking at 20 or so linear arcade style levels, i.e. a game you can finish in under 15 to 20 hours. So for me, there's absolutely no reason to assume that we couldn't expect a new Devil May Cry game in the next year or two. So that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to throw that out as my curveball. That's my prediction. I think that we're going to get an announcement of a new Devil May Cry game, either a spin-off or Devil May Cry 6. Finally then, for Capcom, we can't not talk about their golden ticket, right? Resident Evil. But Joe, you said it was too soon for a new Monster Hunter announcement. How can it not be too soon for a new Resident Evil announcement? I take your point, but here's the thing. Much like how Square Enix have been going hell for leather with Final Fantasy and just slinging Final Fantasy content at people left, right and centre, so too have Capcom with Resident Evil, because Resident Evil is Capcom's fan favourite. It's the Capcom franchise, right? Since 2017, with the success of Resident Evil 7, we've had reams of Resi content. 2019 we got the Resident Evil 2 remake, 2020 we got the Resident Evil 3 remake, 2021 we got Village. It just seems like Capcom are taking the Square Enix approach and just putting a lot of resources into churning out Resident Evil content. So we're pretty sure our Reverse is going to be there. We may even get a DLC announcement for Village. But to round the show off, I think we're going to get the announcement of a new Resident Evil game entirely. Big call. Now, if I had to make my guess about what that will be, well, it's not going to be 9, is it? So it's got to be Resident Evil 4 Remake. It's been strongly rumoured, it was pasted all over those Capcom leaks last year, and prominent leakers claim that the game has been in development since late 2018 at least. So that's where my money's at. And you know what? If that does get announced, then it really doesn't matter what was in the rest of the Capcom show, because that shit will make it an instant success. That's it for Capcom. Let me know in the comments if you think I've missed anything. As always, like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new, and pop back for the next episode where we're going to be talking about Sega.